is,
first of all, I got here this
I
quick.
can't believe you almost stood me up.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Be honest.
I need an assistant.
I was just thinking how everyone in this town has assistants except me. And I'm not even close to ever needing one.
I need one now, and I tell you why.
I
Because I just
can,
got
should we like put out a, profile thing?
good. I mean, I'm into it. How do I
Do
get
you
you on
pay
my?
well?
I always pay well.
You do. What is that these days?
I don't know.
Isn't
What?
McDonald's like $18 an hour or something?
Why are you asking me? Because I'm an actor. You're like, oh, I know, an
I
actor.
listen,
He
not
is
just an
McDonald's.
actor, a filmmaker, okay, an activist.
Mm.
I mean, you've got it going on. Ross McCall. Can I
Well,
tell you, this is so long overdue.
way
I'm just
overdue.
wondering when you're going to have your own podcast since everyone else in the world does.
You know what? People have asked me to do it. I don't want to do it. I can't. I'm not as cute as you guys. You know.
No, you are aging so well. I saw there was a little gray, and I
I'm
wanted to
getting
tell
some.
you to lean into that. Let's see.
Oh, I'm
Lean in.
never dying it.
It
Yeah.
that is a head of hair right there.
Look, I got grey here, and I got grey here. I like it though.
And it looks so good, so distinguished, and you don't even have children.
I
And
don't
the
have.
reason I say that is because I started getting gray when my kids came around and stressed me out. Is that in your future? I mean, let's just not bury the lead.
Kids.
Kids,
I mean, I got to find someone who wants to have them.
are you on the market right now? I thought you weren't single. Are you spoken for?
Yeah, I'm sort of spoken for, I guess. Who
Sort of.
knows? Yeah, who knows? Who knows these days?
Is that like it's complicated?
It's not even complicated. It's just, I'm like a dog dad. You know what I mean? That's not my kids.
I don't, can you see in the back what's going on here?
What is going on? I haven't even. Is this your house?
Yes, parked.
Should we tell everyone that how long we've known each other?
Yes, I want to go there. So I met you. I
Yeah.
has it been 17 years now?
If it's 17 years, that's pretty spectacular. It
And
would be.
frightening.
What are we? What are we? 25? No, longer than that, darling.
Has it been? Because I met you on the set of Crash. You were doing
17 years. Well,
Crash.
no, 16 years. I think
16 years.
yeah, you're one ahead.
We were in New Mexico when they started filming out there because remember, Albuquerque became like this big hub for filming.
That's right. Yeah.
And you were out there and I came on set. I think you had just become single at that point and you had your dog and you were acting alongside Dennis Hopper. And let me tell you something, to this day, like one of my favorite actors in the world. So I thought that was the coolest thing.
Me too.
And we totally hit it off.
We did.
And in a different life, it could have been something.
I mean, you ran off.
I ran off with the trainer.
You ran
I had
off
a
with a
boyfriend who
trainer.
was a trainer at the time, but you are so charming.
Mm,
And like, obviously, there's a flirt fest and everything. But here's what I want to say.
mm,
You have had very public relationships, okay? But
yeah.
you're a really private guy. You're not on
Good
social
guy.
media all the time. It's
Mm.
not like you're flaunting your life out there. How do you handle that? Is it an uncomfortable space for you?
Relationships. The
Having
public.
public relationships when you're a private person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think the only thing is, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. Like if I'm, on a carpet and I'm there with my lady, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with sharing that, enjoying that. I guess the only times I sort of go, it's annoying, is when they take really bad paparazzi pictures. That
See, I've
upsets
been
me.
begging
My
people to
sanity.
take paparazzi pictures of us here. And
No,
it's
but
like,
it's like, listen, it's cool if you have a good pap who's like,
I
I'm
got you.
here. And then you go, okay, so you can you make sure you look, but they get you like this, and then they
Right.
print them. That annoys me, but that's just my ego.
But the fact that there's public interest, I guess, is a good thing. And also, does that sort of, okay, let's just put it out there.
Put it out there. Tell me.
You
Ask
were
me.
with a young woman named Maggie, right? Sajak.
I was.
Is that not happening right now?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm behind the time. I can't even do my job
it's
properly.
okay. No, but
But that is the last
to your
time I
point.
saw.
This is to your point. People don't know that because, they're not, because I don't flaunt my private life out there. So how would you know? You wouldn't
What
know.
what happened there?
Life.
So now you're kind of seeing someone else.
Jesus, you're digging straight in.
I figured I'd just go where it hurts right now.
Jump in. Jump in. What do you want to know?
I want to know, well, we could continue on that train of thought if you want.
My relationship status.
Yes, how are you doing right now? Like, you should be, with someone and having a family because you're amazing.
I don't know if the family thing's in the cards. Now we will get personal. It's like I've been asked this question so much, and here's my answer. Absolutely. I'd love to be a dad. I've never been the guy that goes, I gotta have kids. Now, that's probably just out of my own, I don't know what that is. But I've also been like, I'm old school. So I'm an old school romantic. So to me, I go, if I'm with my loved one and she wants kids, I can't think of anything more romantic than actually having kids. Like I go, that's a beautiful thing. It's going to be, something half me, half you. I think that's lovely. So in relationships in my past, we've definitely been knocking on that door and gone down that road, and it didn't bother me. It didn't freak me out. It didn't scare me or anything, but it just, didn't work out. So I have dogs.
I know how much you love animals. You are kind of been called the animal whisperer.
That little tag's gone around a lot. Yeah. St. Francis is one I get, which I love, but maybe that's like self-appointed.
Well, I have, did I tell you I have 3 dogs now? One of them's in the back. That's why I said, could you see what's going on here?
Can't see anything. All I see is the orchid, the nice piece of work, a printer. No, not a printer. It's 2025.
This is one of them. This is
Oh, look at this. Who's this?
Brownie. Isn't she
Brownie?
so cute?
Brownie, like
Brownie.
a cookie.
Brownie, yeah, like that kind of brownie.
Like a brown,
But
like
I got her during COVID, and let me tell you something, it changed my life. But we've had dogs all the way through, and 2 more. And you are an activist when it comes to animals and things like that. And why is that important for you? You see that shift, by the way? How's
Nice.
that for a switcheroo?
Much better. The animal thing. Don't know. I wanted to be a vet when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Well, first of all, I wanted to be a priest. Yeah.
Thank goodness for you that didn't happen.
So I used to conduct mass in my back garden when I was 5 years old. Can you
You're
believe it?
joking.
I'd have
Was
a
that just the performance thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because I got like a Superman costume that I was very excited about, but it was cheap, and so it was white on the inside and red on the outside, obviously. And I turned it inside out, wore it like a bib, painted the crucifix on there, like the body of Christ, the chalice, and I would read from the Bible and give communion to all my mates.
Oh my
5 years
goodness.
old.
I
And
love
then I
that.
wanted
Your
to be a
parents were
vet.
probably very proud, by the way, of that.
Then I wanted to be. I'm not sure. My mother's Protestant. I don't think she was very proud. My dad. But then I wanted to be a vet. I've always liked animals, and they've always come to me, and I've always come to them.
When you started out, okay, so you went from trying to be a priest and a vet, and then when did the whole acting thing happen?
When I realized at 11 years old I couldn't be a priest and I couldn't be a vet, I decided to be an actor.
And you have been working ever since. I mean, like to the point where I wanted to set up this interview with you for a little bit, and you were flying to the UK. And then today, when I got stood up by you, it was because you had another meeting that was more important. No, but honestly,
Can I tell you what today was?
Yes, I want to hear. I want to hear.
That parlays into this. So yes, I came back super jet lagged 2 nights ago. You and I were emailing last week. I'm so horrified, because I'm very punctual and I'm very like on the ball. When I'm jet lagged, I'm a bit spaced out, and that's why I need somebody to help me out. And okay, I've got a tiny little role in Mission Impossible, right? And so today I got told, go see it at the IMAX at Universal, blah blah blah, and I completely. I went, yeah, I'll go watch the movie. I didn't realize it was 2.5 hours long. And as literally as the credits are rolling, I look at my phone and there's you going, are you coming? And I was like,
by the way, this is why I don't even like travel internationally. I mean, I do, but it's hard for me. I need months before to plan and after because the jet lag kills me.
Jet lag's a nightmare for me. And I
What do
hate
you
saying that. I
do?
hate giving it power, but it is. And so basically I forgot. And that's horrible. Horrible.
It's not.
Because two
I'm
days ago
not
I
even
didn't
upset
forget.
because if it had nothing to do with Mission Impossible, I'd be pissed. But
Right.
the fact that I know that you were in a movie with Tom Cruise right now, that's
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. So, I mean, how was that? And like these roles that keep, again, because you are private, you're not like, putting all your stuff out there.
No.
You're a consistently working actor.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah.
That's not easy.
No, I'm very blessed. I understand that. I'm very blessed. And I've got good friends. The mission thing came along. I was shooting Silo, this TV
Mm.
show on Apple, and I was shooting that in London. And then I got a phone call literally out of the blue saying, they wouldn't even tell me what it was about, but I know, a writer on this show. And he said, do me a favor, just send me some blurb on yourself and your reel and all that kind of stuff. And I had no idea. And literally the day I was rapping in London, I got a phone call, and I was due to fly home on the Saturday. And he just said, how'd you like to be in the new Mission Impossible? I said, I like that very much. And he said, okay, I
Yeah.
need you to rehearse with Tom on Sunday. And this was a Friday. And I said, okay, I'm supposed to fly home tomorrow. They said, don't worry, we'll fix that. I said, okay. And they went, here you go. We're putting you in the Langham and we'll pick you up on Sunday and come and rehearse with Tom and we'll shoot for the next week. I said, all right. And what was great about it was it was basically a pickup scene just at the beginning of the movie, but it's fun. It's me, Tom, and Haley. So it's just the three of us, and we shot for a good part of a week, and literally within 6 weeks, it's in the theaters.
That is so unusual how
So
that
unusual.
went down. That's like a Hollywood dream come true. It does not usually happen like that. You
Mm-mm.
deserve it. You've been doing this for a long time. So
Also,
now you've worked with Tom Cruise. How was he? Because everyone raves.
loved him. Loved him. I actually fell in love with him a little bit at first. So I'm a big Cruise fan, always have been. But our industry, you're around people all the time, and so there's not that, you know, there's no fear with it. It's more like just I admire him a lot, and I love the Mission movies. Funnily enough, and so how was it? It was awesome. It became a love fest at the end. We just kept thanking each other. It was wonderful. Thanks for being here, man. No, thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me. No, Ross, thanks for being here, man. It's me. No, but Tom, thanks for having me. This is great.
So can you
And so,
snap a picture, or is that too much of like
yeah,
you're fawning?
yeah, I can't do that.
But don't you want to, like, when it's your hero a little bit? I know it's awkward,
There's
but
a little part of you that goes, yeah, but look, the truth is, honestly, if I run into him somewhere, we know each other, and that to me is cooler.
that is very cool. And like, who knows what's going to happen in the future?
Well, I mean,
I mean, he could be, you could team up again.
I
But
think they need a new Ethan Hunt.
yeah,
And,
yeah. Isn't it the end? Isn't Mission Impossible done?
it's the end. But here's the thing: I did watch it. It's the first time I saw it today, and
How is it?
it's the movie's awesome. I mean, it's a roller coaster. It's absolutely you don't look at your watch clearly, and
I feel
you are
really
just
bad.
you are stuck in it. I did laugh. I looked fat in it though. It made me laugh. I was like, oh, I'm like this
There's the
I got
ego.
either. I did. I'm not a fat guy, but I was like, oh look, I look like heavy. It made me giggle.
You know what? They need like face app for movies now. That's
Yeah,
how we all look the same and fabulous. It's like, oh,
yeah.
this is why, like, if I was on a dating profile or something, I would try to not use the edit
Yeah.
apps because you have no,
I
when you
don't
see the
filter.
person,
I don't filter
I
at all.
filter a little.
Well,
I'm
you're a
on
girl.
like one
It's different.
silk. That
It's
means
okay.
nothing to you.
I don't know what that is. No,
Exactly.
but
But for
for me, I'm
listen, I'm
like,
in my 40s now.
are you?
You knew that.
I did.
Don't play like that.
I did.
Tom Hanks, you worked with
Love Tom. Yeah,
again,
all
Dennis
the Toms.
Hopper,
All the
all the
Toms.
Toms, only the most A-list Toms. Do you have any favorite moments or like favorite experiences with these guys?
With Tom Hanks.
Yeah, with Hanks, or I
Yeah,
mean, you just told us Tom Cruise.
yeah. My
What kind of
favorite.
stuck with you?
That's all right. My favorite Tom stories. I've known Tom a long time. He helped me get my green card, which is really cool. He wrote the letter to get to the government. Um, so
That's very cool.
Really cool.
How do you
He
repay
took,
somebody like that? Like, how do you thank them?
uh, just with a lot of thanks, man. Thanks,
Did
Tom.
you go to
You're
do you
welcome,
go to
Ross.
dinner after that? You like
Well, we
pay the
sit.
bill?
He took me to my first ball game. He took me to my first baseball game in LA, Tom. So I sort of see him at either events or we email each other occasionally. He's very kind. You know, I write also, and so stuff that I write, he'll always read, which is
Mm,
amazing. But I think like my favorite stories are because we did Banner Brothers together, and then he brought me over to do Polar Express,
right.
and on Polar it was just himself and myself and Bob Zemeckis for like, I don't know, a month before anyone else came along. And it was just the three of us shooting this movie that we had no idea really what mocap was. And, we had no idea about it. So, my favorite thing is just watching how he is on set. So I also love going to the baseball with him because you get to hang out and talk nonsense.
Mm.
Talking about, funny enough, we had a great conversation once. He asked me that same question that you asked me. What's it like, your relationships that are so public? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I never get papped. I never get paparazzi. I'm like, are you kidding? He said, no. They might, get me when I'm at the gas station. He's like, but nobody really cares about my private life. I'm like, boy, that's something.
And how did you respond?
I laughed and went, I don't know. He's like, how is it? I was like, it's weird.
I wonder if it like elevates you in a sense with jobs. Like if people are like, oh, right, like Ross, like, and now he's out there and he's dating this public person. Like, does that help sort of with bringing your career to a different level?
I don't think so.
No,
Personally, I don't. I remember when I was, yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I was dating somebody who was,
Jennifer Love
very,
Hewitt,
yeah,
Jennifer
yeah,
Love. You were
yeah,
engaged, not just dating, right?
yeah. We were together a long time, yeah. And so love was, America's sweetheart at that point. And that just never even crossed my mind that it could be and it wasn't. I mean, it never was. No, it's never been helpful or detrimental. I don't think it's gone either way. And vice versa, other people I've dated, I don't think it's ever helped them that they're dating.
Do you keep in touch with your exes? Like I do. Because obviously we were, together for a reason. We're friends. Do you?
Some. I don't feel the need for it in one way because you sort of go, sure, if there's like a real deep friendship there, I mean, there's a couple in my past, though, of course. This is what I would say. If I ran into any of them, it would be wonderful. It'd be great. Hi, how are you? How's life? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I think, yeah, you were together for a reason, but I think you break up for a reason. And,
Right.
I'm
You end up
sure,
hating each other.
yeah. And I'm sure like their new husband or my new girlfriend, you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, whatever. But if I ran into any of them, I'd absolutely, break bread and say hi without a problem and give them a hug. And,
Am I going to see new paparazzi photos of you with this girlfriend? Because I'm not going to straight up ask who she is, unless, of course, you want to share that.
very
Is it?
private.
All
Very
right.
private.
We'll be like reading the mags if people even
No,
still do that. Tell me a couple really quick things.
tell me,
One,
ask me.
what's your advice? Because again, it's all about the longevity, right? Not being a flash in the pan in this industry. So
Hmm.
what's your advice for getting role after role and just being in it a long time?
Uh, uh, Perseverance, patience, um, and something that the big guys have taught me over the years. These people that we were talking about earlier, uh, to a fault, every single one of them were kind, punctual. I know today I know I'm in the bad rooms. I know. Uh, Prepared, and you watch that and you go, that's the way around it. It's like we are blessed to be able to do what we do. And so when you're on a set, sure you can get tired, sure you can get hungry, sure you can get, frustrated at points, I guess. But to me, I'm just always reminded on how great it is
Mm,
that we get to do this
yeah.
thing that we love. And if you do that, for me, that's just, listen, there are times where I'm twiddling my thumbs. Of course there are.
That's any actor.
Yeah. There are
Well,
times I'm
the best
going,
piece of advice I got, or sort of moment of clarity, was from a friend's dad who said, business isn't always busy.
yeah,
I take that with me. I hold on to it and I remember it,
that's a
and
good
in those
one.
moments, you create other opportunities.
Well, because you judge yourself a little if you're not keeping busy. But that's why my writing is also a big part of my career now as well, and that's something that I lean into on times where I know I've got a month or two that's gonna be quiet unless something pops up randomly like Mission. Um,
Like mission.
I'll write.
Um, has AI impacted you? Also, I mean, like obviously in Hollywood, we went from COVID to the strikes. AI, has that impacted you at all?
Not yet. Um, and COVID, I was super lucky. I mean, obviously, I was doing the quarantine. I was doing the quarantine in Italy at that point. Um, but literally, as soon as that ban lifted, I was working on an Apple show, and Apple being Apple, I was flying, between LA, New York, and London constantly during the lockdown. Still, I was flying on empty planes, but I was working. The strike, yeah, everybody was just sort of sat tight, but I knew there was a job at the end of it. Soon as the strike was over, I knew we were going back to work.
I mean, that's great because
Yeah,
then you look at it as vacation rather than not knowing what's to come.
yeah. Which I can only, I see it from those who didn't know. That must have been a terrifying place, And again, that's why I lean on gratitude and understand how immensely lucky I can be.
What do you do or tell yourself when you're in a position where you're sitting and twiddling your thumbs? Like, what's the kind of amp yourself up song, or what words of encouragement? Because I'm like, okay, I have to do all the self talk.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, you need thick skin to be in this business.
Oh my God, do you
And
ever?
you have to, yeah, and there's rejection and there's, time on your hands. And, it's that old adage, isn't it? They pay you to wait. I mean, that's what you get paid for.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, what's the self-talk? I don't know. I mean, it's just, the boring answer is you meditate and you connect to spirit and you do all those things that you do and, um, you know,
And get drunk.
and get hammered,
Are
just
you one of
let it
those who?
go out.
Are you one of those who's now sober? Everyone's sober,
No, I'm
obviously.
a Scotsman.
Okay, I
Oh,
was gonna say
yeah.
no, you're a daily drinker.
I'm not a daily drinker.
I
Come
am.
on. Are you?
Yeah.
What, like wine every
A
day?
glass of wine every night.
I do get told. I get told sometimes it's like, the older you get, because I'm almost 50.
You look
And,
you look good,
and like,
kid.
no, and the older you get, you do get a bit of
I
wine.
do this. I do
You know what I
this.
mean? So, I don't really drink booze. I don't drink hard alcohol. I'll
So what
drink
are you
wine.
drinking? Wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do wine and occasionally I'll have a Guinness, you know what I mean? But that's a Scotsman in me. But I don't do your whiskeys and your vodkas and any of that. Just because it was never really my flavor. So yeah, I like the vino.
Same.
That's where I'm at.
And apparently, if we're following the Mediterranean diet,
It's
it's
good
the
for
way
me.
to go. We can still have 1 to 2 glasses a day because they do. The blue zones, they do.
And they live until they're 180.
Yes, and that's my goal, happy and healthy to 100 at the very least. So there can be another act, of course.
Of course.
Um, I
Are you
wanted
looking at
to,
notes right now? What is this? Did you write down like questions?
no. I wanted to ask you. Yes, I did. I totally prepared for you.
You're such a pro. You're
I
such
wanted to ask you about who were your roommates again when you just started? It was like this wild crew of all you successful actors still to this day. It was like Charlie Hunnam, right?
But Charlie and I lived together for a while, yeah.
And who
Yeah.
else?
Who else? Matty Settle, who was he was in Gossip Girl for years. He played the sexy dad,
Okay.
musician guy. So Matty and I roommate, Charlie and I roommate. I stayed with Scary Spice for a while when I
But
first
that
came.
wasn't one house together. It wasn't like a frat house, was it?
Oh, well, all of us in the house.
I thought
And
all of you
Charlie
guys were
knows that.
together. Oh, this was a different incarnations of your young life.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
because I
was
was ready to hear like what craziness happened, but I'm
no,
sure that was happening with just two of you.
it was very mature.
Yeah. And was this in London?
No, that was all here.
Are you living in LA right now full time?
Yeah.
Okay. And so no more big travel on the horizon?
So I've done 6 round trips from LA to Europe since January.
What are you filming out there?
I was filming, and
Oh, because
yeah,
anything you want to tell us about?
I think I've told you Silo. We did
Right.
Mission, another film called Rise of the Foot Soldier. Just finished that, and then um, that was it. But
Okay.
yes, 6
You're
round.
busier than ever. Here's my one piece of advice since I am a millennial and you're not. I know that's
What am I
old.
though? What am I?
You're a Gen Z.
Am I?
Wait, no. No, you're Gen X. You're Gen X.
I wouldn't even know.
So
Like
I'm a millennial, meaning I'm just a little bit younger. So what I'm going to tell you
yeah.
is I think the assistant that you get should also post more for you.
Why?
So we can see more of what's going on, the behind the scenes. I want a little BTS.
Here's my thing. I'll be honest with you. Here's my thing. The reason why I actually, well, it's not the reason. I don't post much because I'm Gen what?
Z.
I'm Gen Z.
You're Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z. So I won't post because of Gen Z. Here's the other thing. I do feel a little like I don't have many followers. Like if I
No,
want to
no,
do it,
that will get you to that level.
it's over. Like if I'm chasing that, if I'm chasing
I
like
know it's
5 million followers, I'm like, that's not a business I want to be in. And it's also, you're asking about AI and stuff, right? I'm going, if that is honestly the world, and if the world of my business needs to be about socials and it needs to be about TikTok and it needs to be all that, I don't want to do it. I'm an actor. I
I
like doing
know.
movies. I like being
Listen,
in shows. I act.
I
I don't need
appreciate
to
that.
do, a 10-second blurb on this. So, God bless them, those who do it, love it, but not for me. So my ego goes, yeah, if I have a gazillion followers, I might post a little more, but what am I going to do?
That really is the actor in you, isn't it? Okay, I have to
Okay.
wrap up. But one last thing that we're
Are
asking
we
all our
wrapping
guests.
up? Are we wrapping up because I was late? Am I being
I would
punished?
listen. If I could give you all day, I would.
Why can't we just push
I,
in? I mean,
should
how
we
long
just
did we
start
have?
doing this together? Like,
Yeah,
should we? You know, we could be co-hosts,
I would do that.
and it could be instead of not so Hollywood, it could be so Hollywood.
Oh, so Hollywood. That's how we change it. Oh, so Hollywood.
Oh, so Hollywood. With that, like intonation too.
Yeah.
Um, we're asking all of our guests,
Yeah.
okay? What is one job, audition, anything that got so close to happening, one role that you didn't get, and how would it have impacted you if you did get it? Something you got so close to. It doesn't even have to be, in work.
I think I actually don't have many, to be honest. I'm not saying that it's that I wasn't up for these big, beautiful roles that I love. There was one moment where, and I don't think it would have changed anything career wise at all, but I remember being very excited about it. Was I was shooting a movie in the UK, and then I was going to go and shoot a movie in Brazil, right? And so I knew I had like a week off in between. And for whatever reason at that time, I decided to come over to LA, but literally for like 3 days.
Hmm.
And I came over to LA and I was very kindly put up in a lovely home in Malibu. And I was there in and out, no cell phone. Nobody needed to know I was coming in. I was literally popping in just to have a nice dinner and a glass of wine. Right. And while I'm there, my agent calls and says, listen, I know you don't want anyone to know that you're over there because you're going to do this movie, but we've just had a phone call from Paramount, a dear friend of mine, Barbara, who worked at Paramount at the time. And Cameron Crowe, the director from,
Yeah.
Jerry
Almost famous.
Maguire and
Yeah.
Was Famous and all these
My
brilliant.
favorite.
Cameron wants to meet you. He's doing this new movie. He just watched Band of Brothers, so this was a long time ago. But and he said, and he really liked you and Band, and would love you to come and talk to him about the lead in his new movie. And I said, I'm in. What do I need to do? And they said, well, on Sunday you need to go to Paramount, and you're going to go have a meeting with Cameron. And I said, terrific. And I was super excited, super pumped. I was like, wow, this really came around quick. And then I got a phone call Sunday morning saying, meeting's been adjourned. It's been canceled. And I was like, what happened? And they said, here's the truth. Paramount want this other guy who's way more famous than you are. I said, okay. And they said, and they know that if Cameron meets you, there's a good chance he might push and really push for you to play the lead in the film. But the studio want the name. And so the meeting
Jake
went.
Gyllenhaal?
No, I wish I would have been around with that.
Wait, was it the what
No,
was
I'm
it?
not going to tell you.
Wait, what's his other movie?
Why? Because then it's going to like turn into what? It was a movie that actually wasn't one of Cameron's biggest films.
Wasn't it the movie with the two of them, that the guy and the girl lead, and it was around the universe or whatever it is?
No,
I know.
It was, I'll tell you, because you're just going to be digging. It was for a film called Elizabethtown.
Yes, that's what I meant with, hold on. Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten was the girl, yeah.
Okay, who was the guy? Not Jake?
It was Orlando Bloom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you should have gotten that. Okay, I have to wrap this now. We're
Unbelievable. I can't
I'm leaving
believe.
early. What can I say? Honestly, that should have been yours.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I'm a big believer in what's meant for you won't pass you. So it wasn't mine. It shouldn't have been mine.
On that note, that's a great piece of advice. Ross McCall, I love you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for coming and stopping in. And I'll be checking out the tabloids for you.
Let's do more. And I promise, I will not ever forget our next time.
No, you were perfect.